And as promised, now we are joined by Missouri wide receiver coach, recruiting coordinator, 𝗂𝗶𝘃 Jacob, obviously University of Missouri coach over here. Obviously, I went to Missouri State University, so keeping the same state. How you doing today, Jacob?
Doing great. Glad to be here.
Now, appreciate you joining us. So obviously, we wanted to reach out and get you on the show as a part of the Chicago Sports Network and the Charter podcast. Everybody's obviously interested in your former wide receiver, Luther Burden. Can you just tell us about him as a person and as a competitor?
Yeah, number one, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said competitor. It's a kid that literally he's going to want to win at everything. I mean, we do things around here, whether it's dodgeball, whether it's playing video games. I mean, obviously football. The dude's competitive character is off the charts. I mean, he wants to win, and he wants to win now. And so I think that's the biggest thing that from him is he's a very quiet, unassuming, kind of stoic kid. But then all of a sudden you drop a ball in or make it competitive, you better watch out. So he's obviously got that to him.
So more on the football side of things, watching a little bit of tape on Luther. To me, it looks like maybe he's more used in the slot. I think you guys use him at about 80% in the slot. Do you think he has the ability to play outside as well? And does he have any ability maybe to take some snaps out of the backfield?
Yeah, that's what he does. Number one, I mean, we asked him to move around a lot. We were a big motion shift team. I mean, you would have seen him line up in the backfield to try to get matched up on linebackers. Obviously, early in his career as a true freshman, he played predominantly wide out for us, and then we moved him in the slot his sophomore season. So definitely has position flexibility. Even this year at times, I mean, I recall the Texas A&M game. We started him out first play of the game, put him outside and threw him a back shoulder fade, big play off the jump. So definitely has position flexibility. And again, we try to move him around a lot. So he's used to that world from a motion shift standpoint.
I have to ask you about this one. And I don't know if you've seen the interview with Steve Smith on the 89 podcast where Steve Smith breaks down all of the receivers in the draft class. Now, he had some interesting things to say about Luther, about his personality, maybe that he's a guy that doesn't that's not a good teammate. Some things. How does that make you feel when you see a guy that maybe doesn't know Luther saying some things like that and talking about him as if he knows him?
Yeah, not familiar with the podcast, obviously familiar with Steve Smith. Number one, I will say this, Luther Burden is a great teammate. He's very well respected, not only in our locker room, but in the receiver room. And again, you're talking about a guy that shows up every day, and he was as selfless as it comes. I mean, if you look back to the 23 season, teams started really trying to take him away as the season went on, started playing safety over top, and was blocking his tail off in the run game for our running back at the time, Cody Schrader. And so, again, I can't speak on that, but I can only speak on what I see and what I know from the 3 years with him. And I'm excited about him in Chicago. I think it's going to be a great fit for him.
That's good to hear. Were you a little bit shocked when Luther fell out of the first round? Were you expecting him to go round one?
Honestly, one thing I've been fortunate to coach some guys that go through this process. You're at the mercy of the NFL, and so no, I mean it is what it is. I know he's excited to hear his name, and I know he was really excited about the fit and going to Chicago. But no, I mean one thing I know now after going through this process with several other guys is there is no surprises. You just take it when your name is called, and obviously he was excited about that.
I love to hear it. So if you had to maybe give me a couple of strengths, things that Luther Burden does very well, and maybe a couple of weaknesses, or not necessarily weaknesses, but things that you expect he can improve on. Obviously, he'll be with wide receiver coach Antwaan Randall-El, Ben Johnson, a great new offensive staff that everybody's excited about here in Chicago. But what would a couple of his strengths and maybe a couple of weaknesses or things that he could improve on be as he makes this jump to the next level?
Yeah, number one, strength wise, is yards after catch. I mean, if you notice, I mean, when he gets the ball in his hands, the play just started. I mean, his ability to make not only the first defender, but sometimes the second and third defender miss. I mean, he is as good that I've seen and been around from a yards after catch standpoint. Number two, I think in one-on-one situations, he is dominant when it gets to one-on-one. Obviously. I think that's what translates most to the next level is you're going to see a lot of man coverage and his ability to defeat man coverage. Not only in games, but he, consistently did in practice. And, for us, we were fortunate. We had three DBs drafted last year in last year's NFL draft, and that's who he went against every single day, as a sophomore, as a freshman. And so that helps him obviously translate that to the next level this last couple of years. But from a part to work on, I think constantly that's the one thing with him is sometimes you get young players and they just want to watch the plays they do well. They didn't want to see the bad plays or hear, hey, how do I need to improve? He constantly was open to feedback, opening to, hey, how do I get better at this versus, specific leverage points of a defense or, hey, this coverage, they're playing me this way. So I think as he got through the process as a freshman, as a sophomore into his junior year, really grew in that regard is understanding, hey, coverages, understanding leverage points of the defense, and just continued that football IQ as he went through his career. And I think too, you nailed it. Just he's going to be expected, I imagine, to play multiple positions and move all over the field and not only be, as a slot, but also had to play wide out. So just continue to hone his craft with being able to move all over the place at the next level. I think will be good for him.
That's good to hear. Yeah, obviously Ben Johnson's MO is he wants to make the same things look different things look the same, multiple formations, multiple different personnel groupings. And I think from what I've seen, Luther fits right into that. There's a little bit of a dip in production from, say, 2023 to 2024 for Luther. What can you attribute that to, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, football, right? Different, obviously he's not going to sneak on the scene, coming out of an All-American season. And so, for us, I mean, unfortunately we had some injuries at some key positions, obviously the quarterback position at times, and we just missed on some plays and early in the season too. And I mean, it wasn't, the biggest thing I would say taken away from it is just his approach every day didn't change. Obviously you play receiver, that is a quote unquote selfish position, right? I mean, you want the ball or you're playing the wrong position. But you're talking about a kid that showed up with the same mindset every day, was, again, like I mentioned earlier, a great teammate, awesome on the sideline, never complained once. And, some guys in that situation with what he had on his plate could have gone the other way. Never did, not once. But again, I'm just excited. I think what he does, his skill set, and what Coach Johnson has done, historically with his offense, it's a really good fit. And I'm excited to see how that translates. And I know he's hungry to go prove himself. And, obviously we'll see how it goes.
Absolutely. Just a couple more for you here, Coach. I think I heard a rumor that Luther's dad and grandpa were professional athletes.
Yeah, his dad was a big basketball player. If you ask Luther, he'll tell you he's pretty good on the court. He played in high school and had some success there. And you kind of see a basketball player a little bit, in Luther. But yeah, his dad was a really good player. I can't say grandfather. I'm not 100% positive on that, so I don't want to say the wrong thing. But yeah, his dad was a really good player in his own right, and you can see some of that in Luther's game.
I love that. The basketball players, obviously tight ends, former basketball players. All right, Coach, last one for you here. Give us a prediction here on Luther Burden. He was 39th pick in the draft. Do you see him as a guy that could come in and start right away?
Mentality, mindset wise, I know that's what he's going to come in to do. I'll tell you, he's got a little something to prove. We say that around here at Mizzou a lot, STP, and I know he's excited. I talked to him a couple nights ago, and he was already, chomping at the bit to get up there. And so I don't want to make a prediction and put anything on it,
Yeah.
but I know that, just his track record alone and what he was able to do here, and then obviously in high school, he comes in with a mindset ready to work. So I'm excited to see it myself. I'm transitioning from coach to fan, and so get to be like everybody else, and I'll be obviously keeping close tabs on him throughout the season.
Appreciate you, Coach. Appreciate all the insight on the Bears. Second-round draft pick, Luther Burden. Appreciate your time. And if you end up playing my Missouri State Bears, make sure to take it easy on them and not run up the score. But appreciate your time, Coach.
No, absolutely. Appreciate you guys for having me.